In Ontario, August 1st is commemorated as Emancipation Day, marking the end of slavery in the British Empire, which included Canada. The Slavery Abolition Act came into effect on August 1, 1834. This would have been welcome news to the former slaves who had escaped the Queen's Bush in Ontario. The Queen's Bush was a large, unsurveyed tract of land stretching from the north of Waterloo region to Lake Huron. In the 1830s, free blacks and fugitive slaves began to settle in the area. The majority settled along the boundary between Peel Township in Wellington County and Wellesley Township in what is now Waterloo region. This area became known as the Queen's Bush Settlement. By 1840, the settlement was home to the largest black population in Upper Canada, now Ontario, with at its peak between 1,500 and 2,000 people living there. These early settlers cleared and built farms, established churches and schools. They created a community. Unfortunately, this community was short-lived. In the early 1840s, the Queen's Bush was surveyed by the government and the land was offered for sale. The settlers living there, both black and white, had cleared the land without government permission and did not technically own the land. Many could not afford to buy their own farms once the survey was complete, while others were threatened and scared away by land agents and other settlers. The majority of the black residents in the Queen's Bush moved to other areas in Ontario, such as Chatham or Owen Sound, or they returned to the United States by the 1860s. A few black settlers did manage to purchase their land, with their descendants remaining in the local area. Emancipation Day was a time of great celebration for these pioneers and their families. Local festivities were held in Hawkesville, Wallenstein, Elmira, and Waterloo until the early 1890s. One of the largest local Emancipation Day celebrations was held in Hawkesville in 1863. Over 2,500 people attended the day-long event. A procession, sermon, and speeches were followed by a lunch served in 3 sittings of 400 each to accommodate most of the guests. Public celebrations in Waterloo region ceased by the early 1900s, though many people may have continued to mark Emancipation Day privately with family and friends. It wasn't until 2008 that the province of Ontario designated August 1 as Emancipation Day, and the day is still not recognized by the federal government despite numerous attempts. Local black settlement did not end with the Queen's Bush. Through the first half of the 1900s, Canada's immigration policies were discriminatory and excluded most visible minorities from settling in the country. This began to change in the 1950s, and immigrants from the Caribbean began to call Waterloo region home. Arriving to attend university or for employment opportunities, these newcomers helped create a dynamic local black community that has grown and changed throughout the years. So, on August 1st, take a moment to recognize that all people should be free and to appreciate the history of black settlement in our area.